Not just disagreement, not just tension. We're talking about fundamental divisions over how to handle the Andrew problem. Divisions that pit King Charles against other family members, that raise questions about protecting reputation versus protecting family, and that reveal just how fractured the royal family really is behind closed doors. So what are these photos? Why are they causing such chaos? And what does this tell us about the future of the monarchy? Here's the thing about the royal family. They're really good at presenting a united front. Public appearances are carefully choreographed. Statements are coordinated. Even when there's obvious tension, think Harry and William at Philip's funeral, they manage to project an image of family solidarity. But every once in a while, the cracks show. And when they do, it's usually because someone has crossed a line that can't be ignored. That's apparently what's happening now with Prince Andrew. According to multiple reports, new photographs have emerged that have reignited the entire scandal around Andrew's past associations and behavior. And this time, the family can't agree on how to respond. Charles reportedly wants one approach. Other family members want another. And the disagreement is serious enough that sources are describing it as royals at war. So today, we're looking at what these photos allegedly show, why they're causing such division, and what this internal conflict reveals about the impossible choices facing the modern monarchy. First, let's talk about what we're actually dealing with here. Now, I need to be careful because the exact nature and content of these new photos varies depending on the report. Some sources suggest they're previously unseen images from Andrew's past associations with Jeffrey Epstein's circle. Others suggest they're more recent photos showing Andrew in situations that contradict his claims about stepping back from public life. Here's why photos matter so much in Andrew's case. His entire defense has relied on creating doubt. I don't remember meeting her. That photo might be doctored. I was at Pizza Express. But photographs don't lie about proximity. They don't lie about who was in the room. They create a permanent record that's hard to explain away. And apparently, these new images are creating that exact problem all over again. The question for the royal family becomes, how do you respond when new evidence emerges that makes an old scandal fresh again? According to palace insiders and royal correspondents, King Charles and Prince Andrew are on completely different pages about how to handle this situation. Charles's position, apparently, he wants Andrew to maintain an even lower profile than he already has. Some reports suggest Charles wants Andrew to essentially disappear from public view entirely. No family photos, no appearances even at private royal events that might be photographed, complete removal from anything that could be considered royal life. Charles's thinking reportedly is, every time Andrew appears in public, every time he's photographed at a royal event, it reminds people of the scandal and damages the monarchy's reputation. The only solution is complete invisibility. Andrew's position, according to sources, he's pushing back hard against this. He's reportedly arguing that he's already paid a heavy price, losing his titles, his patronages, his income, his reputation. He settled a civil lawsuit. He stepped back from public duties. From his perspective, he's done what was asked of him, and he shouldn't be completely exiled from his own family. And here's where it gets really interesting. Andrew isn't alone in this view. Other family members. Reports suggest that some royals, possibly including Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, have sympathy for Andrew's position. Not necessarily about his past behavior, but about whether he should be permanently banished from all family life. Their argument apparently is, he's been formally removed from working royal status. He's faced consequences. But should that mean he can never attend family events? Never appear in family photos? Never be part of family celebrations? It's a legitimate question, even if the answer is uncomfortable. But this isn't really just about whether Andrew appears in Christmas photos or walks beside his siblings at events. This is about two completely different philosophies about what the monarchy should be and how it should handle scandal. Charles's modernization approach. Charles has been talking for years about a slimmed-down monarchy, fewer working royals, tighter control over the image, more focus on accountability and public service. In this vision, anyone who becomes a liability gets removed from the public face of the institution, period. It's not personal. It's about protecting what the monarchy represents. From this perspective, Andrew continuing to appear publicly in any capacity undermines everything Charles is trying to build. It sends a message that scandal doesn't really have lasting consequences if you're royal enough. The traditionalist approach. Others in the family apparently take a more traditional view. The royal family is, fundamentally, a family. Yes, it's also an institution, but blood relationships matter. And completely ostracizing a family member, especially one who hasn't been criminally convicted, sets a dangerous precedent. From this perspective, there's a difference between removing someone from official duties and acting like they don't exist. Andrew has daughters, grandchildren, siblings who love him. Should they all have to pretend he's not part of their lives to satisfy public opinion? These are genuinely competing values, and there's no easy answer. Here's the problem Charles faces. He's trying to modernize an institution that's fundamentally based on tradition, heritage, and family. When he was Prince of Wales, he could advocate for change while his mother made the final decisions. But now he's king. Now he has to actually make these calls. And every decision about Andrew sets a precedent. If Charles allows Andrew back into any kind of public royal life, even just appearing at family events, what message does that send? It tells the public that scandals eventually blow over if you just wait them out. It suggests that being royal means you're ultimately protected, no matter what. It undermines Charles's entire message about accountability and modernization. But if Charles completely cuts Andrew off, forbids him from attending family events, removes him from all royal photos, essentially treats him as a non-person, what message does that send? It tells other family members that one mistake, one scandal, one lapse in judgment could result in complete exile. It creates an environment of fear rather than loyalty. And it might actually generate public sympathy for Andrew as someone who's been excessively punished. Charles is stuck between two bad options. And that's exactly why this is causing such division. Let's talk about the optics, because that's ultimately what this comes down to. Every time Andrew appears in a photo, every time he's seen at a royal event, it generates headlines. And those headlines aren't Prince Andrew enjoys family gathering. They're disgraced Prince Andrew appears despite scandal, or why is Andrew still showing up at royal events? The media and the public simply aren't ready to move on. And they might never be. Charles understands this. His entire reign has been about trying to make the monarchy relevant and respected in the 21st century. And nothing undermines that goal faster than being associated with the Epstein scandal. But here's the counter-argument. The more the royals try to hide Andrew, the more interesting he becomes to the press. The more they exile him, the more sympathetic he might appear to some people. And the more they treat him as radioactive, the more every tiny sighting becomes a major story. It's a no-win situation. And new photos, whatever they show, just restart the entire cycle. They put the scandal back in headlines. They force the family to relitigate old arguments. They make it impossible to just quietly move forward. So what does this internal war tell us about the state of the monarchy? First, it shows the limits of royal unity. The famous never complain, never explain approach only works when everyone agrees on what the approach should be. When family members fundamentally disagree about something this serious, that unity breaks down. Second, it reveals the tension between institution and family. The monarchy is simultaneously a family and a public institution, and those two roles don't always align. What's best for the institution, remove Andrew completely, might not be what family members think is fair or right. Third, it demonstrates how difficult reform actually is. Charles can talk about modernization all he wants, but when it comes to actually making hard decisions about his own brother, tradition and family loyalty complicate everything. Fourth, it shows that the Epstein scandal isn't going away. No matter how much time passes, no matter what consequences Andrew has faced, this will continue to be a defining issue for the monarchy. New photos, new allegations, new questions, they all restart the conversation. And maybe most importantly, it reveals that the royals are just as divided, dysfunctional, and complicated as any other family dealing with a member who's caused serious problems. The difference is, their family drama plays out on a global stage with real consequences for an institution that millions of people have opinions about. New photos of Prince Andrew, whatever they specifically show, have reportedly reignited divisions within the royal family about how to handle him going forward. Charles wants him out of public view entirely. Andrew and some family members think he's already paid enough of a price. And there's no compromise that satisfies everyone. This isn't just about one prince and some photos. It's about whether the monarchy can actually modernize while still functioning as a family. It's about whether accountability means permanent exile or whether there's a path back after scandal. It's about competing values and impossible choices. And honestly, I don't think there's a right answer here. But what I do know is this. As long as Andrew remains part of the royal family, even in the shadows, this tension will continue. Every photo, every sighting, every family event will restart these arguments. Charles is king now. He has the final say. But having the final say doesn't mean having a good option. And that's the real war happening inside the palace. Not just about Andrew, but about what it means to lead an institution that's simultaneously a family, a symbol, and a very complicated inheritance. If this analysis resonated with you, hit subscribe. We go deeper than the headlines on royal family dynamics. Drop a comment. Do you think Charles should completely exile Andrew? Or is there room for some kind of middle ground?